First up, viewers, Pakistan's yet another sinister design has come to the fore this time around after it set forests near the line of control in Poonch sector on fire, and this to facilitate infiltration, to divert attention and also to block surveillance. This is a big breaking news that we are tracking from Poonch. In Jammu and Kashmir, multiple mine blasts have been triggered due to the fire from Pakistan, and the incident has been reported in the Balakote forest area along the line of control in Poonch. And the forest believed to be set on fire to help facilitate infiltration of terrorists into the Indian territory, and this is suspected to have been done by Pakistan to trigger landmines on the Indian sides, which are placed as part of the anti-infiltration grid. In fact, Gursimran is joining us live on this broadcast. Gursimran, this is yet another plot by Pakistan to facilitate terror infiltration. Tell us about what's happening along the line of control in Poonch.
See, this has been the modus operandi that the Pakistan actually abides by and follows when it comes to the line of control. But what they do is that they set the forest close to the line of control on the fire, because that triggers the landmine that are placed as part of the India's anti-infiltration grid. And once the landmines are triggered, the forest fire, it gets wild in the fire, and then it takes the security forces time not only to contain the fire, but also it gives an opportunity for the Pakistan to push the terrorists into the Indian territory. See, it has come very clean from the Indian Army as well as from the other security forces on record that the terror launch pads are intact and the terrorists are attempting to sneak in into the Indian territory. And we have seen that in the past as well, that these forest fire have been used first to target the India's anti-infiltration grid, and second is to ensure that this is being used by the Pakistan as a diversionary tactics, because infiltration bid that was foiled last year by the Indian Army in the Akhnur sector, the similar modus operandi was followed by the Pakistan. When the forest was set on the fire, the Indian Army attempted to douse the fire. Their attention went there. On the other side, the Pakistan attempted to push a group of 3 terrorists into the Indian territory, but they were they were neutralized by the security forces. But once again, this has come into fore in the Balakot sector of the Poonch, where now the attempts are being made to douse the fire in the internal areas, while on the line of control, the fire is still there, and we have seen the smoke flames that are coming out in the forward area of Balakot sector in the Mender area of Poonch.
Well, Gursimran, this is, a sort of a psychological warfare as well, because setting forests on fire, also helps them divert attention from key areas and also rush their forces there to control the fire. But Pakistan's, infiltration attempts in the past as well have been foiled. And one clear message that was given by Rajnath Singh and the Union Home Minister is that terror will not succeed in creating panic and also unrest in the Indian territory.
Yes, it has been amply clear, because see, this has become a modus operandi of the Pakistani forces, because they have been regularly doing this. So keeping that in view, the forces are on the alert. The incident has come into fore because it was yesterday only when this fire came into being. The security forces are maintaining a high level of alertness, because Rajouri Poonch is the area that has been prone to the terror threats, because there have been multiple terror incidents. The Pakistani terrorists that have infiltrated into the Indian territory, they are still inside. So there lies a high possibility that the Pakistan will try to push as many as terrorists during the winters into the Indian territory, so that they can start getting on to what they have been doing in past couple of days, that with the onset of summers, they will try to intensify the terror attacks. Because if you go date by date in the last 2 to 3 years trend, you will see that the Pakistan's terror attacks, they start somewhere close to March and April in the Jammu region, and then they go on till October, November. So Pakistan has been using this time to back up their terrorists into the Indian territory, or to push more and more terrorists into the Indian territory, and then to carry out attacks. So keeping that in view, a highest level of alertness is being maintained on the border, and this modus operandi to target the India's anti-infiltration grid by triggering the landmines in the forward area, by setting the forest on fires, that is also being closely watched upon by the Indian Army.
Also, Gursimran, this is, one of the attempts to disrupt surveillance, because once you set the forest on fire, the smoke which emanates from this particular, region when it's on fire disrupts the surveillance systems as far as the imaging is concerned, because there are a lot of thermal cameras as well that have been set up. In fact, stay on with me, Gursimran. I have Major General AK Sivach also joining us live on this broadcast. Major General, a very, very good afternoon to you. Pakistan is back with its sinister design to help, facilitate infiltration. This time, they've targeted the forest area along the line of control, which, has a lot of implications because the landmines that are placed there to avoid infiltration and also the surveillance systems that are also there are completely disrupted because of the smoke and also the, the forest fire. Tell us more about this particular development that has come to the fore.
The point is that it is well-known fact that the Pakistan army is the one which facilitates the infiltration on the line of control. Now, the point is that they know it, that Indian counter-infiltration grid is very, very strong and robust. And there are surveillance devices which are in place. There are thermal imaging. There is also LORUS, TOI, as well as also the number of mines have been placed. Now, how do they neutralize it? Now, this is a new technique which they have adopted it, put the forest on fire. Between LC and LC fans, these are the elements which are being placed. And they put it on a fire from their side. Once the fire catch on, you find all these, elements and devices which are there. They get neutralized. Either the mines which get blasted off, as well as also those thermal imaging and other surveillance devices, they get burned. So this is a trick of the Pakistan army, and the only way to make sure that Pakistan do not get involved in this dirty trick, that you should able to target that post which is facilitating all this activity. That's the only way. But we used to, I commanded a brigade in Machar sector in Kupwara, and we used to do the same thing. The moment that post is trying to help them in infiltration, we used to target that post, and that's the only way the Pakistan can be taught lesson.
Well, Major General, like my colleague was mentioning, this is not the first time. Even last year in Aknur as well, a similar plot had, come to the fore. So what long-term strategies should be implemented to counter such repeated provocations? And also, Major General, how does, how do such fires affect, the deployment in that particular region, and what precautions can be taken?
You asked 2-3 questions. First of all, one thing is very clear. You are saying that how do we ensure that all these devices which are placed, they do not get disrupted by the fire which put. You see, these are very sensitive. These are the thermal imaging devices. They are heat seekers, and there are also certain other devices which are unmanned, which are there between line of control and the line of control fence. So they have been placed. Once the fire takes place, majority of them get neutralized, and these mines get prematurely, activated. So how do we save it? What we do is that we have also made a number of fire lanes between the LC and LC fence, so that the fire does not, caught on to the whole area. That's one way. The second thing is that you have to target the Pakistani posts. These are the posts which are facilitating basically the infiltration. You have to target. Third thing is that that where are their launch pad and training area. There are LAT and just a moment terrorists sitting now also. There are about 5,000 to 6,000 equipped with that M4 carbine left by Americans in Afghanistan. So why are we still insisting on that ceasefire which we have done on 2021 when you have an enemy like Pakistan which is not ready to change itself, which though itself is in an economic crisis and political instability and having a problem of terrorism, but will not mend its way. It will keep on trying to send the terrorists.
That's
so
right.
The point is that you have to hit him there. You have to take this battle in Pakistan area now. That's the only way, because from our side we have tried our best, because all these elements have been very costly also, and every year we make sure that they are revamped, because after the snowfall takes place, especially on the high reaches in Samshabadi and all, these get neutralized during the winters, and then we again get them activated in the summer. So the point is that you have to teach a lesson to Pakistan. That's the only way, you can make sure that such devices are not compromised. And another thing I said is safety measures. As far as, what we used to do, there are fire lanes which we make series of fire lanes, so that the fire which Pakistani put it, that it does not catch on the whole area. Because this is the dirty trick which Pakistan try not only in this area but also on IB sector, where you find Sarkandas on the either side. They put the Sarkanda on fire and they try to push the infiltrators.
That's right, Major General A.K. Siwaj. Many thanks for joining us.